Hi everyone, today we'll be covering the topic which is known as the social network analysis. This is an example of a social network map drawn for you. What it is used for: in a social network map, we can see the relationship between people or a group of people. It could be an organization or a department, and then we can see who contribute and communicate with who's not contributing and communicating, and so on. This is an example of another simple social network map between a few of people. This could be a people or group mates that are doing the same project. In this social network analysis, we can draw a map, as you can see here, a simple map, and then there will be approaches to measure degree, closeness, and betweenness. What are these approaches for? These approaches are known as the centrality measure, and the centrality measure is used to see how close a person or individual or a department is to the center, or what action they are doing in the network. So to see their action, or how powerful they are, or what are their roles, we can use these approaches, which is known as the centrality measure, which is known as one of it is degree, closeness, and betweenness. Let's take a look at what is centrality measure, which is known as one of the approaches degree. What degree is used for is to see who is the most powerful person or most resourceful in that network of people. How we gonna create or count that person that is most resourceful or powerful? We use the number of direct tie a person has. So take a look at this social network map that we have here. So if I ask you who's the most powerful person or most resourceful, you have to count the number of tie. Yeah, the number of tie. So we can count the number of ties. So in this case, it's pretty obvious. It will be Diana, which is the most powerful. So the most powerful is Diana. But why? We count the number of ties that she has. She has the most direct tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So Diana, in this case, is the most powerful or resourceful. So yeah, that's Diana, using the approach called degree, the centrality measure of degree. The others has lesser, like John. He will have lesser. Sorry, John has lesser. In this case, John has only 1, 2, 3, and 4, as compared to Diana. Yep. So that's degree, the most powerful or resourceful person. Let's move on to the next centrality measure, known as the closeness. This closeness centrality measure or approach is used to find who's the most productive person that can communicate with others as fast as they could, as nearest as they could. So we look at, for closeness centrality measure approach, we look at how close a person or an actor is to all other actors in the network. In this case, we will use the geodesic distance table to count the relationship with the shortest possible path one person to another. So what is geodesic distance table? So to see who is the most productive in passing info or sharing info or disseminating info, we use the geodesic table. So the keyword is you have to draw a geodesic table and use the shortest path. So what is geodesic table? Let's take a look at this what do we call this? The social network map. So we have to draw the map. So what we will draw is that we will draw the relationship between John and Simon and Diana and Winston. I will just call it as Winston, WT. You have Celine, you have Carla, and you have John. And then, oh, John is already there. So you will see the relationship between them. You need to draw a geodesic table, so you will have John as well. You will have Simon, you have Diana, you will have Winston, you will have Celine and Carla. So you start to draw the table. Sorry for the very unprofessional table drawn. So you're gonna see the relationship between them, shortest path being counted using the geodesic table. So you are drawing the geodesic table. So this is Carla and this is Celine. Okay, so you will have another thing which is called the total. So you have total. Alright. So now between John and John, there'll be no relationship, and Simon, Diana and Diana, Winston and Winston, because it's actually themselves, Celine and Carla and Carla. Alright. Between John and Simon, S is Simon, John and Simon, you can see that it's only one. They will reach each other by just one step. Between John and Diana, it is this is Diana, there's also one. So one. John and Winston, so John to reach Winston, you'll see 1, 2. So it's 2. John and Celine, it is 2. Oh no, 1. To reach Celine, 1. John and Carla, just 1. 1. Simon and John, it is 1. Simon and Diana is just 1. Simon and Winston, it is 1, 2. Simon and Celine, here, Celine, Simon and Celine, it will be 1 and 2. So it's 2. And Simon and Carla, it is 1, 2. Diana and John is 1. Diana and Simon, 1. Diana and Winston, 1. Diana and Celine, it is 1. Diana and Carla, it is 1. Winston and John, it's 2. 1, 2. Winston and Simon, 1, 2. Winston and Diana, 1. Winston and Celine, it's 1, 2. Winston and Carla, it's 1, it's 2. Celine and John, it's 1. Celine and Simon, it's 2, 1, 2. Celine and Diana, 1. Winston and Celine, 1, 2. Carla and Celine, 1, 1. Carla and John, 1. Carla and Simon, 1, 2. Carla and Diana, it's 1. Carla and Winston, 1, 2. Carla and Celine, 1. Alright, so we count the total of this geodesic table. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So in this case, the winner or the most productive person in passing information through the geodesic table, because the keyword is the shortest path to all, very near to others, it's Diana. Diana is the most closest person to others that can communicate very productively to the others. And the last technique for centrality measure is called betweenness. Why do we use betweenness? It's actually to see who's the broker. What is broker? It's like a gatekeeper or a boundary spanner. Everyone who wants to go through that group of people or that group of division or that group of maybe a department has to go to that person. So it is actually an actor that lies between various other actor that is controlling that group of people. This kind of people is actually a person that can control the network from coming into that group of people. They are the gatekeeper. If you don't become good and be friends with them, they might stop you from reaching that group of people. So let's take a look. This is another example of a social network map. In this case, the boundary spanner or the gatekeeper is Heather, which means that Heather is the gatekeeper or the boundary spanner between groups. That's where we found out whether, using the betweenness centrality measure, a person that sits between two groups of people. This is one group of people, this is another group of people. Heather can stop this group of people from sharing any info with Ike and Jane, and Heather could also stop the other way around, from Ike and Jane to share info with this. So she's like the gatekeeper between these two group of people, between this group and this group. So using that centrality measure of betweenness, we found out that Heather is the gatekeeper or boundary spanner. So that's all that you have learned for centrality measures, which in summary, we use degree to find who's the most powerful person or resourceful person by looking at the number of direct tie, closeness, to see how close one actor with another in the network, and we can see the most resourceful people in sharing info the fastest, in disseminating information. And betweenness, we can see the gatekeeper or boundary spanner, which actor lie between various group of people in a network. So example, so that's all. Yeah, that's all. This is another example of a social network map. Thank you, everyone.